Welcome to another episode of A Life Worth Living.
What is the common thread that connects us all?
Sometimes we feel alone and we believe that we are the only person on earth who could possibly feel this way.
But maybe we all have more in common than we think.
So, we're asking for people's point of view to talk about their experiences in an attempt to better ourselves and find the common thread that connects us all. We'd like to thank our sponsors, Anaheim Stoneworks and Master Toddy LA Training Center. Our guest today is one of the most positive people you will ever get to listen to. So it's not a surprise that she does it for a living. She's a positive psychology consultant and content creator, a 2-time cancer survivor, and a friend of mine. I hope you enjoy our chat with Brittany Diaz. So, Brittany, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me. Happy to be here.
So I wanted to bring you on because we went to school together to study positive psychology.
Best years of my life.
Exactly. But I kind of wanted to know what got you into positive psychology.
So, I mean, I grew up having a very happy childhood. Very happy life.
That's
Let me
good.
take you back to the very beginning. But really, in the very beginning of like my childhood, everything was really good, really wonderful, social support, great friends, supportive family, didn't move around a lot. And as I went into middle school, I was diagnosed with cancer. I had, a malignant tumor from my ovary, so it was like an ovarian cancer tumor. And
How old
That's
were
young,
you?
dude.
Middle school.
Middle
That's
school. I was in 7th or 8th grade. I was 12 years old. So that was kind of just one of those moments of like, oh, wow, this is a major disruption.
How do you deal with that in 7th grade?
How did you guys find out? I mean, what was there?
Well,
We just asked you 2 questions.
Yeah, well, I was just curious.
Well, okay. So, you know how you get really like awkward looking around middle school? Like I was already awkward looking. I had my not my retainers, my braces. My hair was all weird, and your body starts changing. And I was getting very skinny, and that's like typically not my body type in general. And then my stomach kept growing, and it actually looked like I was a little bit pregnant.
Really?
And yeah.
Wow.
So we ended up going to the doctors and seeing what was happening, and it turns out that there was like this huge watermelon-sized tumor inside.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so it was really, really crazy.
Was it painful?
No, not at all.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it wasn't.
That's so crazy.
That's why it grew. I guess it grew for a while before I even noticed it. I just thought, your body naturally changes.
As you go through puberty, you start to gain a bump. Or 2.
It's for growing a baby bump. It's totally normal. So once it happened, it was like this huge shock, just like, oh my gosh, cancer, what? Like none of my family members have ever had cancer. None of my friends had ever gone through anything like that. So it was like just this huge moment of like, wow, what's going to happen? Luckily, I mean, with the tumor, it's not like this huge process of, going through chemotherapy and all of that stuff. It was kind of simple. So just being able to take it out and recover for a little bit, because it was a major surgery, but then having to go back into school, and that was fine. And again, I had an amazing support group with my parents, with my friends, and that continued through.
React?
Well, I think everyone was super supportive. Like through my school, I got a bunch of like cards and all
That's
that
awesome.
stuff, which is really nice. It could also be a little bit alienating, like being treated kind of like an outsider, even though it's in the form of social support. I think what's even more meaningful is probably like the actual interactions of friends coming to visit you and all of that stuff. And that was really, really nice. And again, everyone was super supportive. But then when I got into high school, so 2 years later, it came back, but it came back in a very major way.
And when you say major way, I mean just like much more severe?
Yeah. So it ended up that same type of cancer. I guess little remnants of it were left, and it traveled into my lymph nodes. So it kind of manifested into like this lymphatic cancer. But it's a little bit hard to detect, and because like I've been going to checkups for a while, and so it ended up being like the stage 4 cancer, which was really bad.
No.
Yeah. So and unfortunately, unlike the first time when you could just remove it, you can't just remove all of your lymph nodes.
Right.
So so I did a couple months of chemotherapy and out of school for a longer period of time, having to do all my schoolwork outside.
What was it like going through chemo and through that moment? Because I've heard it's like really debilitating, like you just feel weak all the time, and I'm sure that takes a toll on you.
Yeah, I mean, it does. I've never really felt that it was a major issue. I know that
so
sounds
positive.
I know that sounds crazy, but I've going into it, I never thought like this is an end or this is this horrible life event. It's just like, okay, this is happening, and I kind of saw it in terms of baby steps. Like, okay, so this is happening. This is a treatment. Let's get through this first week and see how we feel and all of that stuff. And it became more of like a bad day where you feel really not, because chemotherapy can make you feel a variety of ways, like emotional and above all, like really, really nauseous. And so you need to make sure to like keep your energy up by being able to keep down food and all of that stuff. So it became more of like, okay, today I'm going to work on, you know, like having a good day today. And if there was ever, you know, a bad day where I wasn't feeling so well, or, you know, I was feeling kind of alienated or isolated because I was stuck in a hospital, it was like, well, today there's a new day tomorrow, you know, and tomorrow is going to be a better day. So I think that throughout the process, yeah, there were some difficult moments, but there were never moments of like, this is the worst.
Yeah.
Or I feel like there was always like a glimmer of optimism and hope that this is only temporary. And I think that was a really important part of it, is that I really acknowledged like the temporality of it, acknowledging that even though you may feel maybe negative emotions or loneliness or hurt, that's not long lasting. And this is
when you would feel that, what would you do?
I mean, there's a lot of things. So
just give me a couple.
Okay. So I definitely delved more into like spirituality and prayer and those things. So luckily in a lot of hospitals, they have like a chapel room, especially where I was at, which is Loma Linda. It's a Seventh-day Adventist hospital. So there's room for prayer. So I would go over there either by myself or with my mom or with whomever was there. And I was never actually fully alone, because my mom is great and she took work off, really, and she was there the entire time. And my dad was there when he wasn't at work. My sister was there when she wasn't at school. So it was like I always had an amazing support group. My friends would come over whenever they could. I had a teacher who came and gave me my homework and taught me the things that I just couldn't understand.
Came and give you homework.
Or not, maybe not nice.
Yeah, I was like, man, that teacher.
Nice, though. I mean, the last thing you want to do is feel like people feel sorry for you, right? Because I never felt that I needed a reason for someone to feel bad for me, because I still felt very fortunate, especially that, yeah, this was happening, but they caught it and it was treatable, and I was working towards this treatment and it was going to be good. So I felt very, very confident in that. So what Sophia had initially asked, like, why was I so interested in positive psychology? I think I noticed a lot of things within, like, because I was in a pediatric ward because I was under 18, is that it was so lively. So there's a lot of really positive energy, people giving us gifts all the time, like random strangers, and there's always visitors because everyone wants to visit, like, you know, these children in the hospital. But not only that, like colorful walls, the nicest nurses, all of these really supportive factors. And the children, so despite their ailments and, you know, whatever stage they are in their cancer treatment, they're all very happy, and it's very evident. And their families, while they're going through a stressful time, like parents are supportive with each other, and it's not like this sad, everyone's crying type of thing.
Do you think it was because of that institution that fostered that?
Yeah. I think not just like a hospital as an institution, but these different systems that we're embedded in. So your friend groups, your family groups, church groups, and things like that. So it made me think, like, why is it that these children seem to be really thriving despite their adverse circumstances? And that's what led me to the field of psychology in general, like how people behave.
Seems like you have a very strong, I don't know, but not character, but
it's her energy and stuff. You're just very confident.
I wonder if part of that was fostered through your family.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when you look back at it, people could say, like, oh, you're such a strong person because you overcame this major tragic event type thing. But I don't think it's necessarily within the individual. Like, those individual factors are important, like having a positive outlook and treating yourself kindly and things like that. But we don't develop within a bubble. It's not just you and whatever you're doing. It's you and you're in a larger system of things, Yeah,
everyone, all those people are influencing you.
Exactly.
To either be great or to not be great.
What were a lot of the, so besides that, I mean, the family dynamic, which is huge, prayer, you said, is huge. What were some of the other stuff that you focused on or did?
Just like friendships too, and also keeping your interests alive. So like if you're into writing, like I really, at that point, I enjoyed journaling. So keeping a journal, and especially like in middle school and stuff, when you have your little notebooks with your friends where you write letters to each other, like continuing the stuff that you always did that makes you feel like you. Exactly. Writing the little notes where you like fold them all cool. So keeping that stuff alive. And
what were the things where you like,
so almost, the Oregon. Oh, yeah, I remember that. I remember
like
that.
The fortune teller
Those were fun.
Yeah.
It seems like you tried to maintain a sense of normality. Like that really helped.
Definitely. I think actually a big part of it is coming into who you are. And you talked before about like confidence. And I think that chemotherapy and cancer in general, it kind of makes you think like, well, it feels like it's stripping away a part of who you are, like literally, like your hair comes off and it's just like this awful feeling of this is not normal. And now I have this sickness, and now you could actually see it. And this is like a true manifestation of the illness, So I think that was extremely hard, especially as a teenage girl who cares about her appearance, like to not have that kind of safety net of having like your hair.
How'd you cope with that?
Oh, it was really hard.
Yeah.
I honestly, I think, like I said, I didn't have a difficult time with the treatment in general. Like I had predominantly good days. I think the hardest thing, or the thing that hit me the most, was coming to terms with losing my hair. And that sounds so superficial, but it really was. I mean, I think it's just a visible sign that you're not well. Yeah. And I didn't like that because I felt good. I felt fine. And I wanted to show my outer appearance that I'm fine as well. And I almost didn't expect it because I had such high hopes and confidence that like, this isn't going to get me down type of thing. And they say, not everyone loses their hair. So I'm like, okay, I'll be one of those people who don't. And then when it actually did happen, it's just like, almost like a blow to the ego, or like, oh man, why did this happen? So yeah, there were times where, you just don't, when it first happened, I couldn't really come to terms with it. Didn't want to look at myself, like put towels on like the mirror. So it was just very painful to see that. But actually, a couple of days after that, my dad and I shaved our heads together, which was really nice. Again, family support, wonderful. And after a while, like I felt like I always needed something on my head to like cover it up. I became very comfortable with who I was, and my parents bought me like a wig, and I wore it like one time, and I was like, oh, this is awful. It's like itchy. It doesn't even look real. I don't like it. And I went through the rest of my time, just without anything. And came back to school with just like a bald head and just completely surprised everyone.
How did people react?
Really well, actually. The first day I came back with like a scarf on my head, and I continue wearing scarves just because they're cute, but I didn't always feel like I had to do that, or I would just take it off and I felt fine.
Good for you.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
wow.
But I think that has helped with my confidence just in general. Like, I feel comfortable being who I am and showing that.
As you should. I mean,
yeah.
Wow. That's crazy. I mean, I have so much respect for you. You went through a lot.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, sure. I'm very impressed.
So what do you think is the biggest thing that you learned from that experience?
Well, I think the biggest thing that I've learned was how vital all of these different things are. So it's not just your mental strength. It's not just your own emotional strength. It's, you know, the strength of everything, the culmination of everything. So the support from family and friends, and not just being able to take that, but to give it as well. So, you know, having that kindness towards yourself and how you could extend it to other people.
Being of service.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So I think, I don't know, I just learned that it's not just about your own physical strength. It's how you could be strong in other ways, and how you can let that manifest in different domains of your life.
Everything you said, what you dealt with to get through prayer, writing, friends, family, service work. And that's what I do. I mean, I suffer with addiction. And that's exactly what I do in my program.
Yeah. And those things, they're good in and of itself, you know, like they can be used as a treatment, but they're just good for anyone, you know, prevention.
Better way of life.
Exactly.
That's
which is a lot of the stuff that positive psychology also.
That's how we got connected.
Yeah.
It was because I was like, You in progress? And she's
No.
like, no. And I was like, the hell, how do you know all this? So that's awesome.
So what would you recommend to someone, maybe another female who's going through cancer and is losing their hair and going through this tragic experience, like how to cope with that? How can she get through it?
I would say to this person to take everything one day at a time, and I think sometimes you could be overwhelmed with the severity of the problem. Just like, okay, this cancer, like tomorrow I'll still have it, the day after that I'll still have it. Mm-hmm. And they could kind of make that into a bigger catastrophe than it already is.
Tripping,
yeah, but
that's another thing you just said, just one day at a time. That's another recovery thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's...
but just like taking that day and being like, okay, I'm going to get through this day and it's going to be a good day, and continuing forward. And before you know it, you're at the finish line, you know, you're done and you're recovered. And just to not take everything upon yourself. Like, yes, be strong and be courageous and be who you are, but, allow yourself to be vulnerable, allow yourself to feel the emotions that come with going through a difficult time. And that's okay too, you know?
Yeah.
And working through those and knowing that these emotions are temporary and they're not going to last forever. And that you can seek this, you know, the resources that you have. If you have wonderful friends, like call on them. Like, even if they're not the ones who reach out to you, reach out to them, you know. And if you have a great family, then, you know, lean on them. And there's no shame in that. There's nothing to be prideful about, or like, I'm going to do this on my own type of thing. Like, there's plenty of resources that you can use, both social and, you know, elsewhere. There are plenty of organizations that do things that try to help people.
Thanks for sharing your story. I think it can help a lot of people and be an inspiration to a lot of people, because the way you see things, I don't think many people do. And you're very, I think, a very strong person.
Oh, thank you.
You are, for sure. Are you, and you're doing good now?
Yes, I'm doing very well.
Yeah.
I've been cancer-free for like 8 or 9 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So I'm really excited about that.
Well, thank
Good.
you.
We'll really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi everyone, thanks for watching. Make sure to catch us every Tuesday by subscribing to our channel.
Let us know in the comments below how you make life worth living. We're sure you have lots of great tips to share, and by working together, we can all thrive. I have it memorized.
She's good. I think that's going to be good. One more time. Let's do it again.
This is how you guys look.
The speed needs to be a little bit faster. Can you make it a little bit faster?
No, I think it's better that way because I need to be able to hand the mic. We would like to thank Anaheim Stone for making this show possible. Nothing says luxury like enhancing your surroundings with natural quality stone.
Master Toddy LA Training Center offers authentic Muay Thai training with locations in Bangkok, Pomona, and Anaheim. For more information, visit mastertoddyla.com.